Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Monday Show. I'm Scary. That's right, me, Scary, your grateful host. And this is a show I do every Monday night for patrons. However, it's the last show of the year, and I wanted to share it all with you. It's a show where we go through patron questions, where I discuss stuff with the community that matter to me in the gaming world of the week to week. And it's like a podcast, but better. Yeah, that's how it works. Of course, if you're in chat, you can always come hang out and all that good stuff. And if you're watching this on the replay, thanks for watching. And I hope you enjoy. I hope you learn some stuff. Of course, upfront and personal, we talk about a variety of different things on the show, and we get off track and talk about gaming and 40K and a variety of different things. We had like there's a whole bunch of stuff happening in the world. It's the holidays coming up, so I hope you're staying warm if you live in a country like me in Canada, where it's like actually been surprisingly just wet and rainy. Yeah, it hasn't really been snowing too much. It's just been wet and rainy. I've been doing a lot of work this couple of weeks. Lots of stuff. I hope you've been enjoying the battle reports. After this show, I get to drive for 2 hours to go down to Mini Wargaming again and continue to do some filming. So, a couple of games. We're probably going to do more Legions Imperialis. Hello! Hi, Carl Ray, in chat. Thanks for coming to hang out. Much appreciated. Of course, if you're in the chat, make sure if you want to participate, you can. You can always ask questions on there. This is going to be an open forum. We're going to hang out. I do this sort of like Monday show Patreon hangout video. I've been doing it for years, for 5 or 6 years. This is like a staple of the of the community that we've built, the Denizen community. I did want to give a huge shout out to all the channel Patreons. This is, of course, the super list of all the Patreons that we have and all the cool portraits that they get. And I added 2 new ones recently, so thank you so much, folks, for all your support, and you're all amazing. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Did I see you in a what is that Middle Earth strategy battle? Oh, you probably did. I have played with Luca a couple of games, actually. I've played like 3 or 4 strategy battles for Middle Earth. And I play the orcs, and I play with a troll, an armored troll. That's like the one thing I need when I play Middle Earth is an armored troll. Yeah. You're a staple of the 40K community, says Ian. Thank you. I appreciate that. I wouldn't be able to do it if it weren't for you. The community, thanks for liking the videos, sharing, leaving a comment, even if you disagree with me, whatever. I tend to be, I know I'm a positive, like I tend to be overly positive, and that kind of does turn people off online, because I'm not the, like, grumpy, I have very opinionated, grumpy, like, content creator. I can be grumpy. I'm very opinionated. However, I spend money, time, and effort playing with little toy soldiers for a living. I don't have a right to be mad or grumpy. Well, I do. I'm taking a holiday for 2 weeks, starting on the weekend, and I'll be back in the new year, so I'm really excited. Hopefully we'll get some content for you then, but if you don't see any bat rips from me, I might do a couple of live streams on Twitch or here on YouTube, just to kind of pass the time, maybe do some holiday painting or something. But I need a break. I've been going non-stop for like 5 years, and I need to not do anything for 2 weeks. I like your optimism to counteract all the salt. Excellent. Well, I'm glad you do. That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. I would have thought you'd play Corsairs. Also, the world needs more positivity. The world does. I am a positive Warhammer content creator. Yes, and I play with little toy soldiers. For anybody who is brand new and just finding the channel, I play Dark Eldar mainly. I play Black Templars. I have a Talarn Guard Army that used to be my father's, and he doesn't really use it anymore. And I play Necromunda. I play with the Palanite Enforcers, which, by the way, we just finished our little local league that we were doing for Necromunda. We played it. We played like a full season, little campaign, and we just finished it up. And my Enforcers did really well. they got like all the reputation in the world and had most of the territories policed and stuff. So they were laying down the law. And the last two games were some of the most hilarious games of Necromunda I've played in like forever, like in all time. So in my last game, for anybody who doesn't know Necromunda, it is a skirmish game where you basically play with a gang of dudes or dudettes or whatever, and it's like you have like 7 to 10 models at any one time, and you like go activating them one at a time, and you have like trying to gain loot and take others out of action, and you go stab them or you shoot them or whatever. And it was super fun. Um, I played Drukhari Eldar, maybe, as you aren't on one of the best Drukhari players in the world. Thank you. I'm probably one of the best players in the world. I just don't get out enough. I also feel like I've proven my worth and don't really need to chase the dragon anymore. Yeah. I'm almost 40. So I enjoy the hobby. There's a lot of younglings that want to make a name for themselves, and that's fine. But I will put any of them down. I just don't have enough money to go to every big event. Like, I'm not a team of people, like, Vanguard Tactics or The Art of War, even though I am a coach for 40K. I teach people how to play 40K competitively, and I play competitive myself. I've been on Team Canada. I'm applying for Team Canada again this year for the national 40K team. But I wish I had like infinite money so I could just go to every event all around the world and just play games. That's what I would love to do, right? And anyway, so that's kind of you and maybe George. Yeah, exactly. That's right. We flex. We're just like, we're keeping. Actually, this weekend, there was man, I sidetracked. Let me finish my original story first. So, playing Necromunda, a skirmish game, and I basically had a sniper, right? Then we're playing like they're like attacking the police station, basically. And so I'm like, oh, the sniper's like in a courtyard. And then he's got a special rule where if somebody activates, you can overwatch him. So you can shoot him before they like do anything. So I shot him, and it was like a headshot. And I killed that ganger, like dead. Like that ganger gets deleted from my opponent's roster dead. Um, but then that ganger had like a special ability to shoot when he died, and he had this flamethrower, and he literally flamed like 3 of my police officers and killed one of my police officers. Oh man, it was the most entertaining game. And then today, I played another one where my sniper, who's by the way already suffered a spinal injury, so like lower toughness, is like just beat up, and he's on like a little bridge overlooking this like thing, and he's like looking at it. And then, so he sees this guy with like a crazy stubber gun or whatever, and he like shoots him, knocks him down or whatever. And then the leader of the opposing gang runs out with a plasma gun and just belts him from like long range with this plasma gun, hits him, right? So hits him and does something called a flesh wound, which then lowers your toughness for that game. So it's easier to like wound you later. So he goes from toughness 2 to toughness 1. Then because he was on a ledge, falls over, fails an initiative test, falls off the ledge to the ground, taking a hit that then took him out of action. Literally killed my dude by shooting him with a plasma gun. He like tripped over, fell off a freaking bridge, and like broke his neck or whatever. It was hilarious. Anyway, 2 very fun, entertaining games. And if you haven't tried Necromunda, I highly recommend it. It is hilarious. It is so fun. We're going to start our new campaign in like 3 weeks or whatever, so I'm very excited about that. Okay, let's go back into the chat. Ian says, I'm from BC. Do you have any suggestions to help unit in the 40K Canadian community? Feels like a divide between East and West. Unity. There is a divide between East and West. Now, we have been, like, at least Team Canada has been really trying to encourage the entirety of Canada to participate and stuff like that. But Canada is so big. Like, unless you had some sort of billionaire benefactor that could be like, everybody should play with everyone, like, it's not easy to just hop onto a plane and, like, travel all the way from East Canada, West Canada, and vice versa, unless you have, like, cash that you can just spend for stuff. And so, yeah, it's like two very isolated communities a lot. Now, with internet and TTS, like it's a lot easier. You can kind of get to know people and stuff like that. And I went to um, a couple events in BC, and I went to like play on tabletop, and I played over there, and it was really fun. I can't wait to go back to see like the crew down there and film another battle report. But I went to, oh my goodness, what was the name of the event? I don't think they did it this time. Anyway, it was an event. It was really fun, and I would go again in a heartbeat. But I would just recommend that people, get onto Discords and find more games with fellow Canadians and things like that as well. And then once we get like, I don't know, private jets, then we can just go to every event we want to, right? And just hang out together, because that's how we build community. Cody says, I hope they bring back Gorka Morka. I thought Ash Wastes was them kind of testing out vehicle rules to do a re-release, but I haven't heard even rumors. Who knows? We'll really see like what happens at the end of the day, right? So that'll be really fun. Oh, man. Man, oh man. This is what I've been working on. This, see? These. Lots of these. Lots and lots and lots and lots of these. Very, very excited. Okay, so on the Monday show, patrons get to ask questions. I answer them, and then folks can hang out here while I read them out, basically online, and get all that stuff done. And it is one of my favorite shows that I do. So I do two patron shows. And if you'd like to support the channel, the best way is on Patreon. So thank you so much to everybody who does. The link is in the description, all that good stuff. And there's like 4 different tiers and a whole bunch of stuff, as well as the Discord and everything. So, let's go into the questions. And if you have any questions in the chat, say hi. Let me know where you're hanging out from, like where you coming in to say hi from. Leave a like if you want on the video, etc. Okay. Because we are an international community, so I'd like to know like how far and wide we really can, like, we put our tendrils into the world. Rise McDonald says, looking at tournament performance as a mixture of themes, what weights would you assign to each theme below in order to maximize one's performance in tournaments? Are there any that you'd include that aren't here? Okay, so you're looking like themes or things that I would categorize from like most important to least important, that sort of thing. I hope I understood the assignment. Detroit, hey Ken, what's going on? Shout out to everybody out there. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Really appreciate it. So, list optimization, list familiarity, rules knowledge, core rules, game knowledge, missions, gambits, etc., matchup meta, tournament-specific knowledge, terrain, FAQs, mission changes, physical health, water, rest, snacks. If you're under a time constraint and had to pick 2 or 3 ingredients to go without, which would they be? Ingredients, I'm assuming like tournament ingredients. Okay, so this is a great question, because there is, like, when I do competitive coaching and I'm teaching competitive 40K play, there is like a sort of like a hierarchical list that you go down in your competitive development. And it's about developing a competitive mentality that gets you prepared to be able to compete, right? If there's one thing I'm good at, is I'm really fucking good at staying chill on the table, right? And I'm really good at squeezing myself out of the wackiest situations. So, cool-headedness is not on your list. But let's go through like this hierarchy. So, I would say out of these, one of the most important, if not the most important, bar none, is list familiarity. So I'm going to edit this. I'm going to edit this in real time. So list familiarity is going to be number 1. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to paste it up here. Boom. Number 1, list familiarity. Why? Because it's just, like, honestly, most of the random crap that happens in a game, you can get out of it by knowing your list. And that means like playing tons of games. Like you literally, the more games you play, the more like you'll know this. Okay, so then we have optimization, rules knowledge, core rules, game knowledge, matchup, meta, tournament-specific knowledge, FAQs. Like list optimization is good, but I feel like in the world today of competitive 40K, we rate this too high. List optimization is good, absolutely, but anybody can take a top list and do shitty with it. So it's not about just taking a good list. Yes, it's fantastic. Instead of like list familiarity and list optimization can go hand in hand. Like they're sort of like two sides of the same coin. But familiarity is definitely the most important of the two, in my opinion. So what I would probably rate after that is game knowledge. Game and rules knowledge. We're going to actually count these as like, actually game knowledge, rule knowledge, and tournament specific knowledge. That's, honestly, these three are like absolute money. I would say it's a three-way tie because you can't have sort of like one of these without knowing the other at all. It's just not, it just doesn't work. Like you need to, so you have to understand the rules. Like you need to understand like, you know, order of operations and things like that. I play good list shitty, says Tanya. Well, that's, you know, the list familiarity is like the important part. So it's better to take a list that you vibe with than it is to take a meta list. Because if you vibe with it, honestly, you can pull magic. You will make magic happen. You will literally make shit happen if you're playing with stuff like that. So those three go hand in hand because rules familiarity or rules knowledge of the core rules helps you understand like game knowledge. It's not just mission, gambit mechanics, etc. It's also how does terrain interact with the game, right? How does movement interact with the game? How can you use consolidations to get points? How can you, so like that sort of stuff is like really important. Now, the key to the familiarity of your list is if you know your list backwards, you know how to apply these three things to the list effectively. That's the key. It's like a secret sauce where you like squeeze them together and make something happen out of it. And, you know, I get really passionate about it because I have won events and won games I had no business winning with the stupidest shit. But it's not because I'm like taking the most optimized list. It's because I know this shit and I am very comfortable with my list. I know exactly what I can do with it and what I cannot do with it. Pardon my language. I don't tend to swear this much, but I'm really excited tonight, apparently. So, you know, so those three, I'd say, boom, like mega important. So then, you know, if you're preparing for an event and stuff, like, you know, and this is like tournament performance, rules knowledge, etc. Okay, so matchup familiarity is also really important, but that comes with practice. So list optimization and matchup familiarity, I'd say you could literally call it practice. So if you really, really, really wanted to sort of like break this down, this is practice. Now, practice is massive part of doing this, right? Playing the game competitively. If you do not practice, you will lose, right? And I've had this conversation before. Folks that go out there and play 6 games a week are going to develop 6 times faster than somebody who plays 1 game a week, right? So if you can play lots of games and practice a lot, practice is really important. However, you cannot practice if you're not in the right physical, mental state to practice. Practice is like lifting weights, like going to the gym. You can't like, you know, and not only that, like if you don't wake up early in the morning to go to the gym, you're not going to get it done, right? Like, so your health, I think, takes precedent over list optimization and matchup meta familiarity. You have to feel good. You have to want to play games. You have to have the hunger. like that hunger of wanting to perform. And if you're feeling shitty, it's not easy to feel like you want to play a ton of games. Hey, Foz, what's going on? Thanks for coming to hang out with us today. So, and you can let me know if you disagree with me in my little list here of like performance stuff. It might be different than what most people on the internets will tell you. Like, make a good list and make a good list from a good faction. Right? You can literally win with anything. Like, honestly, you just have to know your shit. Know your shit, play lots of games, and feel good about it. And you will see success happen. I'm telling you right now. Okay. You can quote me. It's happening. Bruce, what's going on, Duffy? It's happening. Things are happening. Happening. Having a good time, man. I'm having a good time. And that's when everybody dropped off the video. Because I used my fake accent from the fake accent store. Yeah. Definitely need a t-shirt with that one. So, physical health would be the third thing that I think is really, really important. Right? Super important. Really, really, really important there. So, what happens after that? We've got list optimization and matchup familiarity. Now, both of these happen very specifically with practice. If you practice, you will find out both of these. Both of these happen with practice, which is just the way it happens. Optimize your list, get familiar with the matchup and stuff, practice. Boom. Super, super good. I come here for the fake accent and dad jokes. Excellent. That's the spirit. I got put on Drukhari for Team Scotland, so having fun playing them again. That's amazing. I love it. Look, Drukhari are like spicy. We're good. I've proven that we can kick the shit out of stuff. We can beat stuff up, and it's really fun because nobody plays Drukhari. No one does except for me and a few other people online. So it's like that, like, nobody can know this. Like, literally, nobody can do that. No, that's impossible. Matchup familiarity right now with Drukhari is like 0. So if you know your shit, rules knowledge and know your faction, like, you could really do some work to people. I've been having so much fun beating people up with Drukhari. It's just so entertaining. I just can't wait for January. January pops up, boom, we're gonna do some stuff. It's gonna be a good time. Okay. Let's continue, shall we? Oh my goodness gracious, hold on a second. Oh, my neck is all fudged. Great. So if I was under time constraint and I had to pick 2 or 3 ingredients to go without, which would it be? So I'd say, I think the thing that you could kind of go without specifically is like your list optimization and matchup familiarity. You know what I mean? Like, you have to take care of your physical health, especially if you don't have time. You know, most of us go to tournaments and do it to have fun and hang out with people and play games. Like, don't sacrifice your sort of like mental health or your health to like try and cram in extra games or whatever if you physically are like, you can't do it because of health or time, right? So please prioritize that. And then when you don't have time and you're crunching for time, it's always better to take something you're comfortable with than it is to try something different. And I talk about this with like my Trueborn and my Incubi all the time, and I wax poetic about it and I repeat myself over and over. You will do better if you just play something that you are comfortable with. Now, over time, you need to tweak it. Like, you can't just do the same thing over and over. Like, play 5 games, tweak it, play 5 games, tweak it, play 5 games. 3 of those games might be losses at a Rogue Trader tournament, at a little, like, one-day event, then where you, like, lose, and then you have to be critical and be like, well, what do I change? Is it a playstyle thing? Is it a do I not have enough tools for the job that I want at hand, etc., right? So it's just, a bunch of different things you can kind of play around with there. So that's what I would go with. Rise, thank you so much for the question. I hope I gave it a good lick there. Number 1, know your army. Number 2, know your opponent's army. Yep. Knowing your opponent's army is like, that comes with practice. Practice, right? Practice, but first you have to know your stuff before you can really learn other people's things, which is kind of how that works. Okay, on to the next question from the patrons. So do you think the Tantalus can be competitive? For 230 points, it's much tougher than most of our units, and has the shooting to lay low most squads, and does a decent number of mortals on the charge that stack with a solid tank shot. Is it also assault, shooting, and deep strike, which gives you a lot of options? Well, I have played with a Tantalus quite a few times. I haven't taken it to a tournament in 10th yet, but I took a bunch of Tantaluses. It's very similar to the old Tantalus. It is better than the old Tantalus in comparison, mainly because of the higher toughness. It's toughness 10, I believe, and it has a 5-up invulnerable save, which is twice as durable as a 6-up invulnerable save. So, like, it's very durable. I think a Tantalus can be competitive. I think you can definitely play it. However, I play on WTC tables. WTC terrain is not friendly for a Tantalus. It is 10, 12 by 6s in terms of ruins. And there might be like one avenue it can fly around, but getting angles on that thing is going to be wild. Like, you're just not going to be able to shoot anything. WTC says no. There you go. So it might be one of even the banned things that you can't even take WTC. But like, it's not even something like you take, but like it's just too big. It's too unwieldy. It doesn't make any sense on the tables. Now, if you're playing it like a Games Workshop event, absolutely, I think it's really fun. You can put so much shit in it, and 230 points. You could take 2 or even 3 of them and make a cool list around 2 or 3 of them. Like, imagine if you did, imagine, just one Tantalus with 30 Cabalites and 3 Venoms. You split all the Venoms, the Cabalites up with Venoms, put little dudes with rifles in the Venoms, and then put all the guns in the Tantalus, and then you make, like, the most efficient firing deck you've ever seen in your life. One command or one pain token. Hey, Nikki, what's going on? One pain token, and it literally everybody gets rerolls, right? So it's like the most efficient deck of boat you'll ever have. It's also one of the only ways you can keep the Court of the Archon with 10 Cabalites and the Court and the Archon safe without just getting shot to death, because that's what happens if you don't have the modals for it. So, I mean, if you're just on the table, right? That's just kind of how that happens. So, and then of course the mortal wounds like tank shock and things like that, and it's got decent guns, and so it's not terrible. It does dive a lot faster than you think. So you have to supplement it with other things that are going to sort of like take the pressure off of it. Beast packs, Scourge, Venoms filled with little infantry units work very well because Venoms are just amazing. Venoms and Cabalites are just incredible. They're just very, very good. Anyway, all in all, really, really good. So it's a very fun time. Yeah. All in all, I'd say thumbs up. I would put a like on the Tantalus. Ka-ching! Why? Because it's pretty awesome. Pretty freaking awesome. Just saying. Ah, nice. Look, Nikki showed up just in time for me to go over her question. That's fabulous. That's great timing. Good timing. Makes me smile inside. Okay. Nikki says, Happy Monday! Happy Monday to you, Nikki. With the new year approaching and the last Monday show of the year, that's today, last Monday show of the year. When we come back to the Monday show, it will be 2024. Let me know what your New Year's resolution is. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking of hoping to achieve in the hobby this year or the next year, and I'm looking forward to seeing it and all that good stuff as well. You've achieved so much in the world of at the end of the year questions about you've achieved so much in the world of 40k already, but what are your goals in 40k for 2024 and outside of it? You're asking me for some like legit goals. Okay. Well, I would like to make the Canadian travel team again, and I would like to be a part of a team that podiums the Canadian national team at the World Team Championship this year. That is a goal. I'm definitely like that's just on the team. That's just on the list of things that I'm like that's a goal this year. Um, in terms of 40K, right now I have I would like to uh like I want to hit at least 30,000 subscribers by the end of next year. I think it's doable. I just might have to do more than 1 or 2 videos a week in order for that to happen. You know, I'm a very niche market. I'm like niche, and the community around me is very like tight because we all play like a faction, but it's like very niche. Um, and I would like to like, oh man, I'd like to double the size of my Patreon. To be honest, I want to put enough content out there that people want to like join the patron page to like just get access to a bunch of content. I'm a one-man show though, so that's a little tough. But that's a goal I have. I'd like to like make an empire of little toy soldiers. I also want to transition a lot of my stuff to a website to make it easier to navigate. So that's like something I'd like to do in 2024. And then so outside of 40K, I need to take a holiday to like a beach somewhere. I want to go and escape to a beach and hang out near the waves and just chill. And so that's like a good goal for me. Like time wise, I need to take better self care of myself. I want to start swimming. I want to do like I want to swim and just like get fit. I'm almost 40 and I want to make sure that by the time I'm 60, I'm like not like tired. I see so many 60-year-olds and they're just tired all the time. I don't want to be tired in 60. I want to be like good to go. I want to not like have trouble bending down and being like I need to pick something off the ground. I want to be the like I still run up the stairs when I'm 60. So and I feel like I have to do that when I start now. Like I need to start that thought process now so that when I get to that point, I'm still like I can lift stuff and I can like I'm not going to let my body atrophy. I don't want to let my body atrophy in that way. I'm going to give it purpose. If that makes sense. Skari Empire, yeah. That's the key, is an empire. I also want to run more berry bashes. I run one event every year, but I'd like to make it like 2 a year and then see about doing stuff like that. And I also want to DM. I want to do a Dungeons and Dragons. I'd like to DM for like, I want to try DMing. I feel like I would be very good at it and I would have so much fun creating a world and basically exploring the world with the characters that like players would play and like being the catalyst for like that to happen. I feel I've been watching lots of videos on like how to be a DM and how to do stuff. I think that's like I've got an itch. I just want to like be a narrator for like a campaign, a D&D thing. Pick me, says Tanya. Thank you. Yeah, no, for D&D we should totally play together. Yeah, that'd be so fun. Oh man, that'd be really cool. Yeah. So yes, absolutely. Like I'd love to be a DM. That'd be really, really fun. I want to make an empire. Yes, Mr. Archon. I love it. Yeah. Let's make an empire together. All of you, right now. Share the channel with everyone you can. Tell them how awesome we are. And then invite them to the patron page. Yes, yes. By the way, you can join the patron page for free, for like a 7-day free trial, as a rogue trader. Because they are sneaky and get into places where they shouldn't. Yes. And then try it out if you want. Yeah. My treat. Anyway, so what else? Hi, Carl Ray. That's my, I haven't really been good at like setting or keeping goals in like New Year's or whatever, but I tend to be goal driven, usually like on the spot as we go. I'm like, ooh, this is my next goal, and then I kind of work towards it, and then, ooh, this is the next one. I've, because of my ADD or ADHD, I tend to have a hard time sort of like forward planning really far in the future. I've got big ideas, but then it doesn't always fit to like the capacity that I have to do things at one time. But I will manifest destiny my way to glory. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Carl Ray says, question. The Demon Primarchs seem popular competitively speaking right now. Angron, Mortarion. And then, what's the other guy? Magnus. Didn't he do everything wrong? You decide. What about the loyalist ones? So, to be honest, I've played into the Lion more often than not. By the way, Nikki, thanks for your question. I hope that answered your question. I played into the Lion more often than I would probably like to admit, because it's the Lion, and he's kind of cool. He's actually much cooler than Gulliman. I have rarely seen Gulliman on the table nowadays. Like, Marinius Calgar sees more play right now than Gulliman. Gulliman saw a lot of play in 8th edition, like, way too much, and then in 9th as well. But he got toned down in 9th, and he still was everywhere. But now it's like the Lion. I see the Lion a lot. But that's because the Lion's probably like, he's the better of the two. He's got fights first. He's a lone up. He's got like command point shenanigans. Like he can be a lone up if he goes around with his F Magnus. You have no love for Magnus, do you? That's funny. Yeah, Magnus is just really hilarious, right? So it just kind of, he's just, and then like the Demon Primarchs, like Angron is like really popular right now because Anthony made him really popular by winning a bunch of games with him, and people are seeing like he's actually like reliable and works really well in that list. You've got Magnus, who's just like you can't really make Thousand Suns work without Magnus unless you're, unless you're like high or something. I don't know. And then you've got Mortarion, and he's more like hit or miss. Like sometimes you see him, sometimes you don't. I feel like I've started to see less Death Guard lists that take him, but when he's there, he does have a big impact in the game, right? So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, the Lion's definitely the one that we're seeing. Like, I'd love to see some other loyalist Primarchs, like Rogel Dorn coming back to life, or, Ducati Khan coming out of the warp, just being like in his, with his bike and being like, "Rrr," and then he has a big beard or whatever. I don't know, big furry hat, whatever bikers wear nowadays, Hey, Scary, off topic, but are you going to Adepticon? I think I saw Mini Wargaming Matt there in 2021. I am not planning on going. I've got a massive team event here. And then the weekend of Adepticon, I go to All Is Dust, which is another big event, major. There's a golden ticket there. I'm hoping to basically go for a golden ticket because this year I'm definitely going to be going to the WCW. I'm making sure I carve out that spot for myself. I actually had a guy on Reddit literally give me shade on one of the tests. Like, do you just have like less better players than you invited to your show so you can just win all the time? I was like, who the hell are you? You don't even know me, bro. And then he's like, why didn't you go to the WCW if you're this good? I just laughed. That was so funny. I'm like, oh man. I won like 2 tickets to that thing and I gave them away because I had made a previous commitment to Davis and a team event, the first 8-person team event in Canada, probably in North America. And the Beer and Pretzels open in Sudbury, and I told him I was going to go, and I went. Boom. That's it. Loyalty. Fucking loyalty is more important. Love me some Mortarion, says Robert. Yes, Mortarion is pretty cool. I like Mortarion. He's fun. Magnus is so great. He's a boss. Magnus is freaking scary. He just, like, stares at you and murders you with like eyes, just like psst, just murders you with eyes. Carl Malone, hey, what's going on? Says, missed posting for a bit. If you had to make an actual real space raid, even though it isn't bad, I missed posting for a bit. If you had to make an actual real space raid, even though it's bad, lol. I did make a real space raid in my last battle report against the Lion, which I feel was a very good real space raid. Had a Succubus, an Archon, a Homunculus, Drazar, Incubi, a Venom, a Raider, had a little bit of everything. It felt like a fantastic real space raid. I had a lot of fun with that list as well. So I want to go to the Grand Narrative. Oh my goodness. Tanya, Nikki, the Grand Narrative is the coolest shit. I wish it wasn't on the same weekend because I want to do both. I want to do both, and they're so fun. The narrative was incredible. Competitive 40K is fun, but the narrative was awesome. I'm a sucker for Crusade. I love it. I love the story. I've been playing this game for oh my gosh, how long have I been playing this game? 24 years. It's a long time. Like 24 years. More than twice my life when I started. Like I've lived a life, then started playing, then lived 2 more of those lives playing this game. It's I love the narrative. And by the way, John the Cron and I, that's right, we're going to be bringing back the Path of the Archon with new Necrons. It's going to be so cool. Tanya, how dare you say I'm old? How dare you? I am in the prime of my life. I'm not old. I'm old also. I think we're all older than we'd like to admit to ourselves. Like, I look at a mirror, I'm like, hello. And then I look at a mirror, and go, I'm definitely not 20 anymore. Although I look like a child when I was 20. I'm older than you. Yeah. You played for almost as long as I've been alive. Yes, I have played longer than some people who've picked up this game have been alive. I have miniatures, like this one right here, who's older than most of you. It's a really old miniature. You see, he's even a skeleton. He's so old. Yes. Anyway, fun times. Okay, on to the next question. Bizervon says, how would you approach playing the ritual in quarter deployment against a faction like Necrons or other armies? Oh, I didn't fix this. Look at that. It's so professional. Other armies that are great at primary holding. Well, actually, the ritual would probably be one of the easiest missions to play against some armies like this because you get to create primary objectives. Now, if you're playing, now it depends what army you're playing with. But if you're like playing like Dark Eldar, you basically have to sort of like, when you're deploying your army, you want to pick one side or the other of the table, and you essentially want to start creating objectives towards that side, right? And so if you're using Beast Packs and Kabalite Warriors, you need to move block your opponent so he can't get onto your objectives, and then you just create like a string of objectives that goes up the side or whatever. Now, you don't have to win on the primary. You can win on the secondaries and just try and deny them the ability to stop you from scoring your primary. So that's something that I would say. It is not easy, but like Necron's a lot easier to deal with nowadays because their reanimation's is not as crazy as it used to be. So you can actually kill them with multiple activations instead of like literally grinding through 20 warriors. And you're not really going to see the warriors anymore. You're going to see wraiths and you're going to see immortals. You're going to see a lot of different builds, I think, as well. You look young and seem young? Well, you know how it is. I probably am younger at heart than my body would like to admit. I'd probably die if I ran too long. My heart would give out. But like, you're not 22 anymore. I'm 6 weeks older than Skari. Yes, you are, Tanya. Yes, you are. I forgot my train of thought. Yes, anyway, ritual. So now in some missions, like corner deployment is annoying because your opponent can, but that's what Beast Packs are for. If you're playing Dark Eldar Drukhari and haven't found the secret sauce that is Beast Packs yet, Beast Packs are amazing. Beast Packs give you the space you need for 1 or 2 turns to like breathe, so you can score some points and develop a game plan. I'm telling you, it's massive. I started with 1 Beast Pack. I've now gone to 2, and I'm never going back unless they get terrible or they get retconned from the codex. Which, who knows? Like, they don't make those models anymore. So who the frick knows? Thunderous Kiwi rolls in a cloud and says, just wanted to say thanks for sharing all your Dark Elf knowledge. You're very welcome. Your bat reps were inspirational for and companion to me painting my 3,500 points of Drukhari this year. That's fantastic. That's awesome. That's inspirational. Make sure you post a picture of it and tag me on like social media or something so I can see all the cool stuff. That's awesome. Me too, Tanya. Stuffed animals and soldiers. Dolly. I play with dollies too. We play with toy soldiers. Man, this has been really fun. I just want to say a heartfelt thank you. So, if you've been watching and you got to the end of the video, you know, humongous thank you to all of you for liking the videos that I make, for watching them, for just being there and commenting, liking, sharing, just having that positive feedback, or, it doesn't necessarily have to be all optimistic positive, but like for being there and hanging out with me and sort of like joining me in this crazy, wacky journey. Now, I started this YouTube channel in 2012. That's 11 years ago, or 2011? 2011? 2011, which is 12 years ago. I started the channel. I didn't put my first video up until February of 2012, or January of 2012, which, by the way, it's still up here on the channel. If you haven't already, please do yourself a favor and go watch the first battle report I ever made. It's my Dark Eldar versus my brother's Space Marines. And then since then, I've been on a wild, crazy ride. And my goal is to try and basically, the knowledge that I have learned and all the crazy ideas that I have and the way that I look at the game, I want to share it with you, right? That's the whole point. There's no point in me having all this stuck in my head. I want to share it with you over time, and there'll be little tidbits or whatever. Sometimes I might be overly positive for some folks, but at the end of the day, this is a game we play. It's a hobby. People from all walks of life, all from all over the world, play this game and speak a common language. It is one of the most unifying experiences you can ever experience, especially if you travel and just try and find any 40k community out there, or any gaming community that we're gamers at heart. We're all gamers. And at the end of the day, it's just like the heart in our chest that beats and pumps blood around our body. And then Khorne takes it for the blood god, right? So we're all from the same, we're all the same, which is awesome. And I just want to say that over the last couple of years of me going full-time with this, I am more than grateful to all of you. I cannot express how grateful I am that I get to play games, try and be positive, paint little toy soldiers, and tell you my cool ideas about them, and I hope you take that and do with it as you will. And if you like the channel and you hang out, that's all amazing. So thank you so much. I cannot say that enough. And to the patrons, the denizen community, I hang out with you on Discord. Right now we're doing Thursday night game nights where we get on and play a 40k game like Gladius or some shit, and we literally do that. It's really fun. I've been having tons of fun. Anyway, so before I start tearing up and getting all emotional, let's go back to my stoic nature. Yeah, stoicism, and just want to say that one. I guess I missed that one after watch. I was going to an RTT with some real good guys. Was thinking of running a real space race was fun. At least Drazar and the boys. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was a great list. Check it out. It's the latest one against the line that I played, Carl. Yeah, for sure. My wife thinks we resemble each other. Nice. That's the spirit. I'll be turning 36 next year too. Nice, Foz. We can all be 30s together. This game truly does keep us young, and it's nice to have an awesome person to look up to like Skari. Aw, that means a lot. Thank you. After all, thanks all for watching, everybody. A huge shout out to the channel Patreons, without whom none of this would be possible. It's thanks to the Patreon community that literally keeps the lights on. You're amazing. These are the incubi. It's like a cool artwork, caricatured, patronage thingy that I do for all the incubi, which is awesome. And it's Hombre Radioactivo that gets them done. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And on the road to 30,000. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I just want to get there. I want to actually get to 100,000. That's my aim goal. I want to get one of those plaques. The little silver plaques that says 100,000 on it. That's my goal. That's my goal. I want one of those so badly. Yeah, eventually I'll get it. I'll just get it eventually. It'll just take me 20 years at this rate. Maybe a little less. Maybe 10 years. Depending on as soon as I hit that critical mass. Or it becomes super popular. Yeah. And then my empire will begin. Awesome. You're all amazing. Thanks for hanging out. My goal next year is to be able to upgrade to incubi. Nice, Foz. I'll see you in the inner chamber. Okay. Other than that, after all, thanks a lot, everybody. You're all amazing. Cheerio, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Scary out. And for the last time in this show in 2023, the Dark Kin. Happy holidays, everybody.